What's up guys, Enkiri here, and today we're continuing on with the popular Train Like an Athlete series, and in this fourth installment today we're absolutely obliterating biceps and delts. And if you've been watching my channel these last few months, then you'll probably notice that I'm using a couple of familiar exercises for this session, namely the Enkiri curl and the chimp raise. I introduced these exercises a couple months ago, but I'll link the videos for you in the description anyway. But basically, this right here is just about the most scientific, evidence-based bicep and delt workout in existence. We're also killing two birds with one stone here and training like real athletes as well by getting on our feet when we do these Enkiri curls. Like I mentioned in my original video there, the Enkiri curl is hands down the most athletic curl variation in existence. Not only are you standing up on your own 2 feet when you do these curls, which turns any exercise into an athletic endeavor, but you're also simultaneously smashing the entire glute complex as well as the entire core. And the scientifically proven irradiation effect that comes about as a result of that glute and core activity causes a super intense biceps contraction that cannot possibly be achieved with normal curl variations. So we're building athleticism and crazy bicep strength and size with these curls here. You gotta try it before you knock it though, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if you do. The setup can be a little bit cumbersome, but trust me, it's worth it. And then I paired these up with one of my other favorite science-based exercises, and that is the chimp raise. The chimp raise utilizes the scientific principle of reciprocal inhibition to take your shoulder training to the next fucking level. I'm telling you, just to rehash it briefly, basically what you're doing here by hanging with one arm, we're able to stretch the lat way out, which fatigues the muscle there. And then we take advantage of that stretch and that fatigue by subsequently hammering the delt with a standard front raise. But since the lat is no longer able to effectively inhibit the contraction of the deltoid muscle, you end up with a way more intense contraction there, even with far less weight. If you want a more in-depth analysis of these two exercises, then feel free to check out the links below. But anyway, I'm telling you guys, I could barely lift my arms the day after this shit. It was crazy intense, and just for shits and giggles, I actually went out and tested my vertical jump afterwards, and I ended up hitting an all-time max vert PR of 43 inches, so that's a 1-inch PR. So there really is something to this evidence-based athletic training. There's no denying that, because it gave me an immediate boost in performance, and when you get to my level, a 1-inch PR is pretty huge. So just getting up on your feet when you're doing your curls can make such a big difference in your overall performance in the long run too. So it's really something that should not be ignored. I mean, I usually sit on my butt during arm day and during my shoulder day so that I can really focus on contracting those muscles and focus on the mind-muscle connection between my brain and my biceps and my brain and my shoulders. But I think that the missing link for most people is really just not worrying so much about that as it is worrying about standing on your feet while you work your arms and focusing on good posture along with a strong mind-muscle connection. You need both of those things. And when you have both of them, that's really a game changer. And you're probably saying by now, but Alec, you were only standing on your feet for half the workout and you were hanging by one arm for the other half, so that doesn't even count for athletic training. But on the contrary, it does count, because the hands are actually the feet of the upper body. So whether you're supporting yourself by your lower body feet or by your upper body feet is really inconsequential. The point here is just that you need to be on your feet. I don't care which ones we're talking about, and not sitting on your butt or lying on your back. Enough of that though, you guys don't care about athletic training, you just want to get fucking swole. Well, these two exercises are gonna make your biceps and your delts blow up like no other, I'm telling you. You can see that I'm really focusing on trying to go all the way down and get a good stretch in the biceps at the bottom of the curl. And then for the chimp raise, I'll actually even let my arm move back behind my body a little bit just to get a good stretch in the front delt. These are the things that people don't think about, but in order to get a really strong contraction, first you've got to get that big stretch in the muscle first, and then bam, and from there you slowly work your way through the concentric phase, and you just focus on squeezing the muscle as hard as you can. Personally, I like to think about my brain while I'm doing these exercises to really hone in on the mind-muscle connection. That's what's going to get you the big pumps and create the most metabolic fatigue and really help you to just forget about the pain and just focus on constantly pumping those growth factors into the muscle cells. So basically, I just kind of black out my thoughts and then I picture a black void with a big brain in it. That's my brain. And then I picture the muscle that I'm trying to work next to it. And they start kind of far away from each other, but as the set goes on and the burn increases, I picture them slowly moving closer and closer together. The big brain is there, and it's just kind of coaxing the muscle to come on over to it, saying, "Come on, come here, buddy," like it's his little pup, and he's still trying to teach him how to be a good pup. And I can feel the muscle listening to the brain and starting to work harder and harder the closer it gets. And the closer it gets, the more in sync that the mind-muscle connection becomes, and the harder the muscle works, until eventually it reaches the brain. And then they just kind of morph together into one ultimate being, part muscle and part brain. And then the mind-muscle connection is complete, and you just feel at peace with the universe. And that's how you know that the set is completed. See, I don't count reps while I do these sets because that's just a ridiculous and antiquated notion that absolutely kills intensity and kills gains. How can you complete this mind-muscle connection if you're constantly worrying about counting reps? You won't be able to squeeze the muscles. You won't be able to see your brain coaxing that muscle to come over to it and become one. Instead, you'll just be trying to reach this arbitrary finish line by completing the prescribed number of reps, and you'll end up rushing through them, and your muscles will never listen to your brain that way. Instead, they'll just do their own thing and run away like a bad dog, and that just seems foolish to me. Completing the mind-muscle connection is like training a new dog. It requires complete and total focus and discipline, as well as a level of sternness. The brain has to be very clear in what it wants from the muscle, just as the master must be very clear about what he wants from his dog. And sometimes that will be very difficult for both parties. Sometimes the master will have a hard time being stern enough and direct enough to get the pup's attention. And sometimes the pup will just want to run after squirrels instead of listening to his master. But if they're able to focus their efforts and accomplish this task together, then they will be rewarded with a long and prosperous friendship, the likes of which cannot possibly be rivaled by anything else. And in our case, that means supreme motherfucking gains. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. Please be sure to like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. Keep training hard, and I will catch you guys next time.